Saw your last podcast. Don't! You said the Leafs were gonna win the cup? This is your fault, Steven! Never tweet! It wasn't even a tweet! What has this team done to you? Hi, kids! Victorious puppies! This team is ruining my life! Why do I watch hockey? Stress relief! We can, and we will! I don't care. If we end up waiting on them, you guys are gonna starve to death, and I can't have that. You're too cute and valuable. High five to building a team around players who understand that taking a discount helps you win. What? Hey Siri, find the lie.
Here are matches for the lie.
Leafs lose 7-3 to Daddy. Oh, I'm sorry, Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm sorry, it's just when you lose 7-3 to a team at home, that is how you refer to them. Sir is also acceptable, but on the list of things that aren't acceptable, that performance! I was at that game, and let me tell you, might stop going to Leafs Lightning games. Last year I went to a rather infamous one we won't talk about, and that was for my birthday, because I still celebrate my birthdays like a child, and I still believe in the Toronto Maple Leafs like a child. So let me tell you what I saw in this game firsthand. That first period is one of the most bonkers things I've ever seen. 7 goals, it was worth the price of admission. I'm not going to talk about this goal by goal. There's no point. They lost 7-3 on home ice. I'm sorry. The Andreas Johnsson goal was super encouraging. I didn't know he had that shot in his arsenal. Great looking power play. The John Tavares goal finally gets the monkey off his back. Elite tip. Justin Hall, primary assist. Kapanen, secondary assist. Lovely. Austin Matthews scored a goal. He just does that. That is it. There are other small positives to point out, but nuts to those. You lost by 4 goals on home ice. A couple of those penalty calls were BS. Okay, fine. Like, you can't make excuses for this game. I'm sorry. The 7th goal, Freddie just gave away, but as I say, it was the 7th goal. The official literally got in the way and gave Tampa the puck on the 6th goal, leading to the goal, but as I say, it was the 6th goal! And if we're gonna sit here and complain about calls that should or shouldn't have been made, I'm gonna remind you about the playoffs. They start in the spring, and officiating is used to fertilize crops. And because of that, NHL officiating actually plays a key role in our society. I want to see that. I want to see that heritage moment. What Carrie Fraser was able to produce in 1993 yielded the biggest pumpkins this country has ever seen. That Halloween, Canadians in record numbers carved the Stanley Cup into a jack-o'-lantern, and that was the only way they got to see the cup up close! Listen, on the most recent Panago Pizza Steve Dangle podcast, I said into the camera, the Leafs are going to win the 2020 Stanley Cup. I'm going to say it again. The Leafs are going to win the 2020 Stanley Cup. They are. They are. I just have a funny feeling. And for any of you, oh, Steve, with your Leaf color. If any of you have been watching these, this is season 13. How many times have I said that? None! 0! Oh, you talk about them being cup contender. That's a lot different than stating they're gonna win the cup. There's a big difference between they have a shot at it and they're going to win it. As the St. Louis Blues will tell you, that's the team that beat the Leafs last game, by the way, it doesn't matter what happens in your first 5-6 games. The Blues were terrible to start their season last year. The Caps actually didn't get off to a very good start the year that they won the cup. The Penguins in 2017 had a really good start. The Penguins in 2016 lost their first 3 games. But as opposed to the hot starts that the Leafs have been off to over the past few years, I'm glad they've gotten spanked and on home ice by teams that are actual contenders. I know what happened to Tampa last spring. I know. Part of the reason we still talk about it is because of how weird it was. But I'd rather the Leafs get these embarrassing lessons early. It's not good enough. People are talking about the Riley and Ceci pairing, which, yeah, no, I think I've seen enough. I don't like it. I can think that Cody Ceci is able to do things that Nikita Zaitsev is not and still think that that's not good enough. The Kevin Shattenkirk goal? Dude! That's Riley! Shattenkirk had Nylander behind him harassing him. Riley is standing right in front of him. You can say that Freddie should have had it. I would say that the shot have never have been able to get off. One of the many penalty kills that the Leafs had. There's like 18 seconds left in the thing. They send Marner out on the right side of the ice for a right-handed face-off. I get that they want Marner to take more face-offs, and I get that if you're gonna test him, I suppose it might as well be early in the season, but not against Tampa, man! There's 18 seconds left in the thing. Tavares, Kerfoot, Matthews, anyone who is an actual center. And the first period was so fun, but from the beginning of the second onward, they were never in it. They didn't have a shot. The Leafs didn't adjust to nothing. Tampa smothered the Leafs, and John Cooper stole Mike Babcock's lunch money, but they have their little jovial comment. Shut up and win the hockey game! Well, there's only one puck out there. God, you're so old! Shut up! And some of you might be watching this like, hey, I'm older than Mike Babcock. No, you've lived longer than Mike Babcock. You're not older. There's a difference. It's fun on TV, but man, you gotta see it in person. In person, it's so much more pronounced how much better prepared the Tampa Bay Lightning are. All these little things. There was this little play, William Nylander working the puck along the half boards and Jake Muzzin at the point, and they do this little switcheroo, and the first time they pulled it off, it worked and led to a scoring chance. Second time, Tampa goes, there it is, and they almost pick it off for a breakaway. And that was one of the things that didn't end up panning out for Tampa. Last game, the Leafs stuck with the St. Louis Blues all night. Jordan Binnington was fantastic, but it came down to a mistake in the third period while the game was tied. Minutes 0 through 19 in this one. The Leafs stuck with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Minutes 20 through 60 went the same place that your goldfish did. On vacation. Oh, don't give me, what is your fish name? Hopes and Dreams? Driving me nuts seeing a guy like Patrick Maroon out there. Leafs will make a depth signing. Oh, Kenny Agostino, that's pretty good. For almost the same amount of money they got Patrick Maroon. Kevin Shattenkirk's cap hit starts with a 1. Braden Point, first game of the season, first goal of the season. What does he make again, Cap Friendly? Oh, his team win! Oh, I'm sorry, is that unfair? You wanted the smoke and now you sit here and smoke the whole pack. Maybe they'll take this lesson with them. Maybe it'll be productive. Maybe it'll end up being good for them. St. Louis Blues, really good hockey team. You're not going to beat them every game. Tampa Bay Lightning, really good hockey team. You're not going to beat them every game. And you get to play them often, so there's good practice for you. Saturday night, hockey night in Canada. I don't care that it's on the road. The Toronto Maple Leafs are taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Look at the Leafs on paper. Go ahead, look at them. All right. Look at the Red Wings on paper. Go ahead, look at them. Okay. The Leafs should be able to grab the Red Wings, pull their head off of their body from the base of their spine like Mortal Kombat, and hold it up for the whole country to see! Which would be a welcome improvement from, hi, millions of people, here's our backup goaltender. Well, it was the second half of a back-to-back, and the stats say stop ruining my weekend! It's a national game, get a clue! Oh, that's not how you win hockey games. Yeah, how do you do it? Show me! Please show me, I'm dying to see it! Before the season began, the question was asked, why not us? The question was meant to be rhetorical, not an excuse to make a list. Show up on Saturday and show up in a bad mood. Questions. Why do we overreact every time our team loses? Sometimes you lose, move on, and get better. Or move on and be Mike Babcock. Oh boy, it's early in the season, but my mentions are full of this. How was being at the actual game? You know what? It's fun. I got to go with Adam and Jesse. It's rare that we get to do that. It's always fun to go to a Leaf game. They've stepped up their game ops from years previous. But, like, that's pre-game, and I find like their intermission is better. In between the whistles, and they have the guys with the Sittler, Salming, and Rick Vive big heads dancing on the screen for like 2 minutes straight. They use some newer music that's really good and a lot of dentist office stuff, man. I'm gonna really throw a challenge down, alright? You ever watch the playoffs? You ever look at the fans in TD Garden and go, what a bunch of lunatics? That's because they are lunatics, and the Bruins do a great job of riling them up. With their 100th anniversary, the Leafs did a good job of honoring the past and then going, alright, we're moving on. And I'm sorry, there's just something about parts of Leafs games, not the whole thing, but parts of Leafs games that just feels old and tired. TD Garden, Vegas, the Madhouse on Madison, that should be Scotiabank Arena every single night. And that is the Leafs challenge, to get that building like those ones. Have it so that the only reason we refer to that arena as a morgue is because they're putting the other team in a body bag. Too far? I see you're starting to catch on. This time difference is so unfair. Yeah, shout out Usman. He watches the game from Pakistan. Shout out everyone who watches the game from not North America, because I don't know how you do it. How cool was it finally meeting me in person? Very cool, super cool, extremely cool. They lost. Why? But also how? 2 questions, 1 answer though. The Leafs. Very simple question. When is this team going to start on time this season? Man, a lot of people are getting on Mike Babcock right away. This is a more than legitimate criticism. This team, in the first 1, 2, 3 minutes of the game, stinks! And that comes down to preparation, and I'm sorry, whose bag is that? The Leafs need to shell the Red Wings in the first 5 minutes on Saturday, and for the next 5 minutes after that, and for the remainder of the game. There is no good reason for the Leafs to drop a game to the Detroit Red Wings. There isn't. Detroit gave the Leafs fits last year. It was embarrassing. Crush them. Alright, that is it for this one, but after all that talk of crushing them, you guys are crushing it, I gotta show you this. I was talking about how I had only raised about $7,700 for Easter seals. Since I said that, you've helped me raise another $4,000 2,000 for Easter seals, and young Jesse Blake is also over 2,000, just killing it for Rachel's Raiders. Thank you so much. I'm working on some stuff. I want to raise as much money as possible. I told you my stupid lofty goal is $50,000. I need you to help me get there. Oh, here's an idea someone gave me. If you donate $100, let's say if you donate $100 to Easter Seals and you show me the screen cap, or also I get the email notification when you donate money. I was going to pick up my phone there. If you donate $100, I will give you a shout out in this video. I'll say something nice about you by name. I'll be like, Sam, your name is Sam, has great hair, or something like that. $100 for Easter Seals, charity that helps kids with physical disabilities. What's not to like? That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends that on Saturday night, the Leafs better make good. Once again, trying to raise $50,000 for Easter Seals Ontario. Link down below in the description. Or if it's easier for you, I don't know why it would be. You're watching on YouTube right now. It's also in my pinned tweet. Please help me donate money to Easter Seals. Thank you.